Hey Roosters, today we have the Transformers deck building game. And yes, it's been a long time coming. This game was supposed to come out around like August, I think. And let's just say it had delays after delays. And here it's finally in my hands, in person, all the way in, well, at the time of this recording, in November. So yeah, it's definitely had a couple delays, couple months, but it's finally here and we can unbox. Okay, I already took off the wrapping, and I did unbox this before just to see what's already inside of it. But now that I do know, let's give you guys a little look into what's inside the box when you open your Transformers the deck building game. This is what will most likely be greeting you right outside of the box when you open it up. Got some ads for some other things that Renegade Games does. We got a rule book. This will most likely be extremely useful to you when playing through the game if you're not quite sure on certain rules. It does go over some things that you might have questions about. Of course, you might not end up needing this if I end up ever doing a how to play video, but definitely keep it around. Or not, of course, you do whatever you want. It's your rule book. You have some cardboard punch-out. You have a cardboard punch-out sheet, which gives you a couple counters to track some things in the game, such as your victory points. I think these main ones are. Here's the card punch outs, the cardboard punch outs for the standees and whatnot. That's right there. Some of the tokens do have different things on different sides, such as the minus move tokens have plus power tokens on the other side, and the ongoing tokens have start of turn on the other side. Where the victory tokens in the cardboard the cardboard cutouts, they're like the same on the opposite sides. But yeah, this is nice. Definitely great. Alright, inside the box. Let's take a look. You have the little plastic clips. These are to clip onto the cardboard punch outs to get them turn them into standees. So yeah, you're gonna need these unless you maybe have some cool miniatures that you have from a different game, or you made yourself, because miniatures would actually be cool for this game. But I mean, like, the standees do just fine. Ah, beautiful. Here you have your energon cubes. You got a couple in here, big ones. I believe this is supposed to be for, if you have 5 energon cubes, you can swap it out for a big one. And then you have a bunch of more of the small energon cubes. Very nice. Very nice. I love these energon cubes. They're actually really great. Like I said, I already opened a lot of the stuff up. But you have the character cards, which I'll give you guys a look at in just a moment. And you have some other stuff, but let me show you the character cards real quick. Now here are the character cards. You can take a quick look at them and all their abilities. I'm not really going to go through each and every one of their abilities and say it out loud, but I am going to try to show it off to you. So, obviously you have Optimus Prime. He is a truck in one mode with 2 move, and then he has his bot mode with his energon abilities and whatnot. Obviously. You got Bumblebee, bot mode, and then alt mode. I'm pretty sure you guys can see the abilities just fine, so if you need to, pause the video if you would like and read them out, and if not, then you can just not do that. Ironhide, definitely one of my favorite characters from the original G1 series, probably my favorite Autobot of all time. But yeah, probably gonna be using this guy the most of the times when I play, to be honest. Yep. Ratchet, also a favorite of mine. Just, I don't like him as much as Ironhide. And, yep. RC. Yep. She has a 3 move, which is important. I actually did look at this before. She's the only character I've seen so far with a 3 move. I do not have Jazz yet. But maybe he'll have more, 3 or probably 2. Everybody else has 2. She's the only character I've seen with 3 moves, but she also does not have a different ability on her car mode, where most people too have an extra ability. So the extra move is really just like her extra ability on alt mode, not car mode, but you know what I'm trying to say. Wheeljack, the genius. Give me a second. Here's his other side. Alright. And that's all the characters that come in the core box. When you open up your box, you'll most likely see, well, 2 packs of sealed cards. Not loose cards like I have here. But like I said, already opened this up. I did it on camera actually. I just had to reshoot the entire thing because complications. But anyway, let me just show you what you'll get in each of these packs in the core set. Forgive my setup. So let's get right into that. Let's start off by looking at the starter cards and the basic cards that comes in the box. This right here is just the turn sequence cards. Are just turn sequence cards. Will not be needed once you have a couple games under your belt and you've played a couple times and you know what's going on. These will most likely become useless to you, but maybe if you're teaching a new person who wants to learn how to play the game, how to play, this definitely will be helpful. And obviously, because everybody's got to have a first game at some point, this most likely will be helpful to you too. But not exactly necessary, but definitely something that's nice to be included. Yeah, turn sequence cards. You don't need them, but you probably want them. Next up, you have the basic cards. Now, these cards are cards that are, well, they're really only two different types of basic cards in the game, and they really serve 2 different purposes. First type of basic card is damage. This is sort of when you gain damage, you can't buy this card. But when you do gain it, it will hinder you no matter what mode you're playing on, whether it be competitive or cooperative. These cards will hinder you. You don't want damage. There are ways to get damage. There are ways to remove damage. And I won't really explain. I won't try to do too much talking. But, give me a second. Sorry about that. Damage in competitive really only hinders you because for every 2 damage you have, you lose 1 victory point, as well as when you're battling an adversary, which means a Decepticon most likely, you have to take 1 assist, which is definitely bad for you in competitive. But in cooperative, anytime a player gets 5 damage on them, then you all guys automatically lose the game. That's one of the main loss conditions of competitive players in this game. So damages will always be bad for you. Then after damage, there's the second type of basic card, which is transform and roll out. This is a card that anybody can buy, and it really is just a basic card. Cost 2, gives you 1 of each stat, has a nice little ability to help you out through the game. This is a decent card, but I mean, like, it definitely will probably be outclassed by other cards in the main deck, but definitely powerful enough that if you don't have anything else that you want to buy from the Matrix, then this will be something to purchase to fill out your deck with better cards than just the starter cards. Speaking of starter cards, let's look at them next. Oh, this is a mess. All right, let's take a quick look at the starter cards. Okay, the starter cards. There's 5 different starter cards, and most of them will only be 1 copy in each player's deck. I can show all of these to you because there's not that many. Every player will get 1 fix card in their deck. You can read the ability. I'm not going to read it out loud, but you can read it. Pause the video and feel free to do so. Every player will get 1 patrol in their deck. There you go. Again, feel free to pause and read. Every player will get a singular reserves in their deck. Every player will get 1 firepower in their deck. Good old Jazz blasting away. and every player will get, I believe, 6 courage in their deck to start their 10 card starting deck when they start playing the game, because this is a deck building game. I'm not sure if you don't know what that means. It basically means that your deck will be getting more powerful as you go along, and you'll be using resources to buy new cards to add to your deck. That's what these lightning bolts are. They're for both battling and buying cards. One of the most important things to look at in the game. But anyway, yeah, these are the starter cards you'll start with when you start a game, and throughout the game you'll be using your power to buy new cards and try to win the game. There are really 6 different main deck cards that you want to be looking at when playing the game, because they will be helping you when you buy them. I can't go through each and every one of these cards because there's just too many, but case in point, you have relics. These will probably cost you a lot. Examples are the Matrix Leadership and the Polarity Gauntlet. They give victory points at the end of the game if you can play them and put them into your vault. I believe that's how they work. Other than that, they're really just powerful cards that cost a lot. You want to be buying them though, because they'll be helping you out a lot. So when a relic shows up, you don't pass up the chance usually to go grab it. You have maneuver cards, examples such as jump and recon. They'll most likely give you a move value, and other than that, they're just cards you buy and add to your deck. And yeah, you can say that. I mean, like, there's nothing else to really say about these cards. They're almost like any other card in the game. You add them, you buy them, they go to your deck. But something important, they probably will give you a move value. Most of them do. Technology cards such as Dropship and Force Dome. They're sort of like they work just like maneuvers, other than the fact that they'll usually give you power or ranged instead of a move value, which is not what maneuvers typically do. The only real difference between the cards and gameplay wise is and for purposes of text and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure characters like, let me see if I can find him. Forgive me. Wheeljack. He has stuff that goes along well with technology cards. So yeah, obviously he wants to be buying technologies and maybe some maneuvers if it helps him out, but mostly technologies. Okay. Then you have Autobot cards. They're powerful, they're unique, stuff like RC and Brawn. Brawn's a cool character, I don't care what anybody says. They'll give you a wide variety of Scoot abilities and different stats and stuff like that. They're really just overall great cards to buy and add to your deck. Then you have sights. These can't be bought. When they show up in the Matrix, they're just but they augment the space you're basically on, making it better for you. But you can't buy them. It just, when you're on the space, then you activate these. Then you can use these effects, or yeah, basically like that. When you're on these spaces, you can use these effects, and most of the time they're pretty good. But you can't buy them, and you can't take them with you, or you have to be all in that specific space. And once that space is gone, then like they're gone too. Ally cards, definitely the most interesting and one of the few unique cards that you can buy. Not unique in the sense of there's only one copy of each of them, which there is. But I mean, like, they work differently from technologies, maneuvers, and Autobots. When you buy an ally, they automatically get put into play next to you. And what this is about is that some Decepticon bosses will come out. I'll show you the Decepticon bosses later. And they could scare away these ally cards. So, definitely, they have decent effects. I'm not really sure if they're supposed to be more powerful than other cards, but they immediately go into play with you. But then they can be scared away for a certain amount of time by certain effects that your opponent, well, not your opponent, but the bosses in this game will try to pull out against you. And that's really all the cards you're going to be buying as a player. Well, you don't buy these cards, but they're definitely cards that will help you when you go throughout the game. Okay, and then here are a quick overview of the different cards that will hinder you throughout the game, minus, of course, for damage, which will also be a type of card that will try to will mess up your game plan no matter what game you're playing. Well, no matter what game mode you're playing You have Decepticon schemes. They'll be coming out and they'll be really just messing you up until, of course, you can thwart them. I say thwart because of Marvel Champions, but I don't know what's officially called when you defeat these cards, but until you defeat them, and you can get some sort of gain 1 VP each time you rescue a hostage. They give you different. They basically change up the game. I'm not sure exactly how they work. Maybe there's something that comes into play before the game starts, and you have one Decepticon scheme per game, or maybe they go into the main deck. I'll have to look up on that. I'm not 100% sure on the rules of the game, but here are the Decepticon schemes. They'll be trying to hinder you. Cooperative schemes, I'm pretty sure, work the same as Decepticon schemes, except they only can be used when you're playing on a cooperative mode and not competitive mode. So, really, that's the main difference. This doesn't say a way to thwart it, but these cooperative schemes do have thwart text on them to get rid of them, I'm guessing. So maybe there's some way to get rid of these. Maybe there's a little bit more differences than meets the eye when you look at these two cards. But from my knowledge, they're pretty much the same thing, except these are only for cooperative, and these are for all the time. You, of course, have the big bads themselves. The Decepticon bosses. Oh, goodness. You have stage 1s, then you have stage 2s, and stage 3s. You have 2 of each, I'm pretty sure. And so you can choose which one you want to play against, or you can just shuffle them up and randomly decide. Not shuffle them all together, just randomly decide between one stage 1, one stage 2, and one stage 3, and have it random what bosses you're going to fight in the game, which would be most likely how I'll be playing the game. Then you have encounter cards. These cards will come out when you're either being ambushed, which means when you randomly reveal an adversary or a villain, or when you confront a boss, and you'll be using these cards, you'll be shuffling them up and getting one random one, and then you fight against these cards, really, or rather, not fight against them. Really, these will just be doing bad things to you. For example, this says attack, gain 1 damage. So if this flips over during an ambush, and the adversary attacks you, you would gain 1 damage again. In cooperative, if you get 5 damage, if one player gets 5 damage, you guys all automatically lose the game. And in competitive, excuse me, I'm not feeling too great right now. In competitive, when you get more damage, it will really just make it worse for you throughout the game. So no matter what, you don't want damage. And that's really a good example of how some encounter cards will work. Then you have, of course, the Decepticon cards. Now, they also have stats right here. So I'm not 100% sure if you can add them to your deck or not. These stats will only be useful to you throughout the game, so maybe there's a way to get Decepticons in your deck. Maybe you can buy them or fight them. Because let me just take a quick look at this, for example. The Autobot and Decepticon cards have no real difference straight up. They both can give you victory points if you defeat them, I believe. But obviously, you probably won't be fighting Autobots, and you won't be buying Decepticons. Though they both have the same sort of stats and stuff like that if you would be. Can you add Decepticons to your deck? Can you fight Autobots? I'm not 100% sure on that. What I've seen, they say you can buy robots in general. So these are classified as robots. So maybe you can buy Decepticons, and maybe you can fight Autobots if you so wish. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to act like I am. It really could be either or. But, for example, for the sake of the video, from what I know for sure, you'll be buying Autobots. That's 100% a thing. And you'll be fighting Decepticons. That's 100% a thing. But other than that, I'm not 100% sure about how these two cards are different and how they interact with each other than those two definite things. And of course, for those of you guys wondering about the storage for this game, like how does the storage for storing the game after you unbox it? It's pretty decent. Energon cubes, once they're out of this little packaging, I'm pretty sure go in this little pocket right there. Character cards will go up here. Right there, it's very simple. You can arrange your cards in any way, but here are some of the, basically, the main deck cards, and then I put the turn sequence starters and basics in their own little slot over here. Forgive me. Oh, this is embarrassing. Forgive me doing this all with one hand. Once you punch out the tokens, then they can go in any of these slots. The standees, which right here, can go in these slots, I'm pretty sure. And then what you really do is you just, everything's in there. Sorry, buddy. You slide. Well, you probably won't have this anymore once you punch it all out. Probably won't keep this either. Might keep this if you think you'll need it, but just slide that all on top like you found it. And close up the game. So yeah, I think the storage that this game comes with is pretty decent, all things considered. Forgive me for the scuffed unboxing. Yeah, I'm not really used to doing stuff in person like this on the channel. I usually do it all digital and over the internet, and the reason is because I don't really have anything to record in real life. Not a good way. I'm literally using my phone, my iPhone right now to do it, which some people say was a great way to start if you're going to be doing stuff like this. But for me, I would have to hold the phone with one hand and touch everything with the other. So it's not optimal, but I did want to do it. I got the box in the mail, I pre-ordered the game, and I was figured, you know, I like the game. It's a card game, which is what I usually do on Obsidian Roost, and what we usually do on Obsidian Roost, we being really just me and, you know. But you get the point. The point is that, I did really want to get this unboxing done. I really wanted to unbox the game, and I'm pretty sure I did a pretty good job of showing everything that you'll be finding in the game, and really the best I could really do. There's not much in the game. There's not much to the game. The game may seem complicated because of the different types of cards and stuff like that, but really it seems like a game that just all mushes together into one thing that you completely understand once you get it on the table and once you start playing. Will a review be coming for this game? Definitely. I'll definitely be doing a review. I just can't do it until I get to play the game, which I haven't been able to get to do yet. Will how to play video be coming for this game? 100%. Again, I need to 100% learn how to play the game first. This rulebook will help with that. But then, of course, I need to play some games too, iron out the details, make sure I'm not misunderstanding anything, and then and only then will I be able to get those type of videos done and recorded. But let me know if you enjoyed this unboxing. I get it. I know. It wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. But I did do a good job, I think at the very least, showing each and every one of the things that you get in this box. I did not get the Jazz pre-order pack add-on. Don't know what that's about. I definitely pre-ordered the game. Goodness, what am I doing? I definitely pre-ordered the game using looking for that Jazz edition pack. And I may be sound like an idiot if some of you guys know what's going on, or if maybe that thing was canceled altogether. There's been lots of bumpy ups and downs with this game on its journey over to me. But I'd like to say, and I hope to say in the future, that this game was definitely worth the wait and worth the, well, I guess I would say trouble, but I didn't go through any trouble. I really just spent money, and I did get the game in the end, so it's not exactly like I didn't get what I asked for. But it's definitely been a long time coming. It's been a lot of delays and a lot of waits, and I hope it's worth it. But that being said, whether I said this or not, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're looking to see the review or how to play the game from me, of course, because you can find those things elsewhere. And tell me if you have the game, or if you're excited about the game, or of course, which one of the 6 characters is your favorite. Any of those things will be fine, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.